Okay, today we're going to continue with decimal division. So problem 1A says 156 divided by 24 and 102 divided by 15 both have a quotient of 6 and a remainder of 12. Are the division expressions equivalent to each other? Use your knowledge of decimal division to justify your answer. Okay, so we don't have a lot of room on here, so we're going to use scratch paper. So I have the problems written down, and it says they both have a quotient of 6 and a remainder of 12. So I'm going to write the 6, remainder 12 on there, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to figure out if these two problems are equal. They look equal right now, but we need to make sure we finish it out. So let's go ahead and put a box around. Nope, no box, because 15 is less than 24, so we're good. And we already know it's a 6. So I'm going to go ahead and write 144, and I'm guessing my remainder is 12. Now the next one, I'm going to take 15 times 6, and that gives me 90. With a remainder of 12. So go ahead and pause it if you need to get caught up with me. All right. So now I can make this into a mixed number. So if I take my quotient, put my remainder on top of my divisor, I can make a mixed number. So this one would be 6 and 12/24. And the other one would be 6 and 12/15. So now I can decide which one is larger by looking at the mixed number. But the directions say use decimal division. So erase your remainder. And the first thing you need to do is put the decimal on. A lot of kids sometimes put the 0 on first. Don't do that yet. The decimal has to go first so that we don't change the value of the number 156. So now I'm looking at 12/24, and if I simplified that, what would that be? 6.5. So what decimal or what number stands for a half? So I'm going to try a 5. So the answer to this one is 6.5. And 12/15. If I simplify that, I'm going to divide them both by 3. So that would be 6 and 4/5. Now I know 4/5 is more than half, and I know 15 times 6 is 90, so it's going to be higher than 6. What should we try? Let's try an 8, because 5 times 8 ends in 0. There we go. So we know the answer. They are not equivalent. 6.8 is larger than 6.5. So, to answer the question, are the division expressions equivalent? No, because 6.8 is larger than 6.5. Okay. So we're going to do B, and we're going to do F, and that will prepare you for your exit ticket. So I'm going to use all this space since I'm not doing the other problems. So I'm going to write 62.79 divided by 23. And I need to put my box around 62 and move my decimal directly up because we're dividing by a whole number. Okay, so how many times do you think 23 would go into 62? Okay, we're going to try 2. So that gives me 46. And remainder of 16. Is 16 less than 23? So I can bring down my 7. Now this is what I do. I look at how many times does 2 go into 16? So 2 goes into 16 8 times. Should I try a 2? Or should I try, should I try an 8 or should I try a 7? Let's try a 7. I'm afraid 8 might be too big. Okay, so the 7 worked. Oh, and remember, I've been circling. Okay, so you put the 7 on top and you put the 161 on the bottom. All right, when I subtract, I get 6. Bring down my 9. Okay, so 23 times 2 is 46. Should I try a 3? Let's see. 23 times 3. Oops. That's going to be 69. So I'm going to use a 3 and a 69 in my division problem. Okay, so I love this when I get the perfect problem. Now, how do I check this thing? There's my triangle. There's no reason to add in a 0. So I'm going to do 2.73 times 23, and that is turtle head. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. If you want to take your decimal out, you've got to stop and think about, okay, my answer is going to be with 2 decimal place values. So that is what place value, boys and girls? Hundredths. Okay. So go ahead and multiply. And place your decimal, and it looks like I've got the dividend I started with. Okay, let's take a look at F. Going to do F kind of the same way. 24.96 divided by 52. Pop my decimal up because I'm dividing by a whole number. This one's a little different. 52 won't fit into 24. So I'm going to go all the way over to the 9. So my very first digit is going to be placed above the 9. And I already know that's going to be a 0, so I'm putting it there so I don't mess up. So how many times will 5 go into 24? 5 times 5 might be too big. So what should we try? Let's try a 4. Okay, so I'm going to put the 4 there. And the 208 goes below. And I've got a remainder of 41. Is 41 less than 52? Yes, it is. So bring down your 6. All right, how many times does 5 go into 41? 5 times 8 is 40. Let's try an 8. 2 times 8 is 16. All right, it works perfectly. So I've got 2 numbers that go in my division problem, the 8, the 416. Now I need to check. And I really think it's going to be easier to just take this decimal out and also take the 0 out. And then it'll just be a lot simpler. So 52 times 48. Go ahead and multiply. Okay, place my decimal. And that's the dividend I started with. So the answer to this one is 48 hundredths. Okay, let's look at the exit ticket. So on the exit ticket, I'm going to get you started. Now, cross off number 2, do not do it. And if you want to solve the problems at the bottom or check at the bottom, that's fine. There's a lot more room down there. So I'm going to do, and it says you have to check. So 45.15 divided by 21. And I'm going to get you started by helping you draw your box. So the first digit you write is going above the 5. The next one, 14.95 divided by 65. Okay. 65 won't go into 14. So I have to go across to 149. And that means the first digit I write is going above the 9. And there will be a 0 in front of the decimal. Okay. Good job.